Merry Christmas, Seahawks Win Edition. We are in a car with our beautiful mother, actually, here on a little family vacation, going to Vegas for Christmas.
Yeah, we're right outside of Vegas. I think you can probably, if I'm looking over this way, almost see this. Nope, can't see the strip, but we're close enough. Charging an electric car that we rented.
Yeah. So far, the electric game was a little tough for a road trip, but that's for another podcast. We'll do, because I was gonna go on a rant for a little bit, but I was like, the Seahawks win is what most people are here for.
Exactly, but I mean, we could just forget about the Seahawks win and talk about electric cars for the next half
What
an
is
hour.
what is your opinion on electric cars?
I think they're great if you have a charger at home and you're only staying in your city. It's the worst idea for a road trip. I'll say that. That's all I'll say.
So far in this day and age.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports on Tap Seattle podcast. I'm Sammy, and with me, as always, is my older brother, George.
Your favorite place to be a fan of Seattle sports. Now let's get this party started.
Tito, are you ready? Are you ready? You ready?
Seahawks win, though, and we have a hot spot on the iPad. We're watching the game here, and one of those games like last week where I'm just, at some point, I was thinking, there's no way they pull this off, right? Like here, right at the end, after the Titans scored, and I was like, 2 weeks in a row for a game-winning drive just feels like improbable for a team that has had a losing record 2 weeks ago. But 1 week of Drew Lock and then 1 week of Geno Smith, and we got our 2 game-winning drives. It's a crazy way to put yourself from six. What was it? From what were we? We were.
We're now 8-7, so 6-7, yeah.
So from 6-7 to 8-7 into the last spot in the playoffs as Minnesota loses. That's a crazy turnaround with 2 game-winning drives, with one with a backup, one with a starter. Kind of an improbable turnaround here, but very tight turnaround, very close margins.
Absolutely, and I think I'm going to just have to give credit where credit's due. I know a lot of Seahawks fans, for some reason, which I think is almost ungrateful, about Pete Carroll and always about the coaching staff. But honestly, when you win games close in the fourth quarter, a lot of times that's coaching is the biggest X factor at the end of a game. That's what separates good teams from bad teams. Winning close games is quarterback and head coach. And despite us maybe sometimes disagreeing with things that Pete Carroll does as Seahawks fans, which I think is kind of, we need to appreciate it, because it's going to be a really long time, I think, until we have a better coach than Pete Carroll. He's the best coach in franchise history. I don't know when we'll say, oh, this coach is better than Pete Carroll. What is this now, 50 years in the franchise? 78, so 40 years?
Oh, I thought you meant Pete Carroll. I was like, bro, I know he's old, but he's only been here for 12,
yeah,
15.
40 years in the franchise. He's the best one.
70 years, so I was like, that's his age. He hasn't been coaching since
he's been coaching since he was born on the Seahawks.
But 74, so 50 years. Next year, I think. 49th year, might say.
All right, yeah, 49, 50 years. So this is the time, this is the best coach we've ever had, and it might be another 50 years before we have a coach that's this good.
Well, I think it's simple. You have the second best coach, to most people I'd say, is probably Mike Holmgren, because he went to a Super Bowl. Pete Carroll's the best coach because he went to 2 and won 1.
Yeah.
To surpass Pete Carroll in the future, it's probably going to take winning two Super Bowls,
which is
as
really
a coach.
Tough. Especially these days where people don't give coaches so much time, and it's really hard to see a coach stay as long. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know where he is, but I'm going to guess Carroll's probably the 3rd or 4th longest tenured coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's him.
Tomlin and Belichick.
Yeah, and Harbaugh. It's the same time.
God, yeah, Harbaugh's been there for a really long time, too.
But you just mentioned something very interesting. People complain about Pete Carroll. Mike Tomlin's was kind of on the hot seat before this win. People were saying, not on the hot seat, let's say, but they were saying it might be time for a mutual start. Bill Belichick, it might be time for a mutual fresh start. We're talking about when you say it's really hard to hold a job, those guys are struggling to be guaranteed their roles for next year, right?
Exactly.
You have Andy Reid, who's now won 2 Super Bowls with Mahomes, but before that, did they win 2? Yeah, Mahomes has won 2 now.
Yeah, wow.
They won 2 Super Bowls. Before that, he lost in a Super Bowl and couldn't maintain his job in Philly. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl in Philly and got fired.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard, like you said, in the future with how quick we are to change coaches. To have a guy that lasts 10 to 15 years, wins 2 Super Bowls to ever surpass Pete Carroll. Now, there might be a coach that coaches with us that eventually becomes a better coach maybe than Pete Carroll. Yeah. Let's say, whatever. If we had a Belichick before he goes to New England, sure. But to have a guy that wins 2 Super Bowls in your franchise is very hard to find. So I agree with you that this coaching thing, it's really easy to hate on the coach and blame him when things go bad. But then all of a sudden the narrative flips because, we won the game. And it's that's honestly the last 2 weeks, like you said, it plays a big role of it is coaching, and not just coaching on field, play calling, because Pete Carroll's not doing the play calling on these last drives. But it's about also what he brings to the building, right? I think everyone was really hyped last week when they saw how Geno Smith was celebrating of Drew Lock, the backup quarterback, where a lot of guys would not be that hyped for the backup who, as much as Geno's job is secure, it's not he's not Tom Brady or Russell Wilson here who has a guaranteed role for the next 10 years. It's interesting the culture he's bringing that these guys, and I know it sounds corny, and I've said it all along, and it always will sound corny, but it works with Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, is he brings this vibe that people believe.
Yeah,
right?
People buy into the whatever Pete Carroll's selling, right?
Yep.
He's almost like a salesman, really, but they buy into his program. They buy into the way he does things. They buy into the always compete mantra. And like you said, bro, you win games what did he say in the fourth quarter?
Can you win the game in the first quarter?
No.
Can you win the game in the second quarter?
No.
Can you win the game in the third quarter?
No.
Can you win the motherfucking game in the fourth quarter?
And just go crazy.
If you like that saying, I'm sure that one of those are going to drop today after the Eagles game had dropped. I'm sure there's one today that you're going to hear from Nashville to Seattle in full blast by Pete Carroll today. And on top of that, if you go to SeattleOnTap.com, we have T-shirts with Pete Carroll's face that says, "Can you win the motherfucker in the fourth quarter?" So SeattleOnTap.com. Shameless plug.
The funny thing is that whole entire thing I said about winning in the fourth quarter, I was hoping seamlessly you would plug the shirts after, just one of those seamless transitions, and it was. So great work there.
It was a given in my eyes. Couple things. I'm going to say one negative, just because I think it's important that we mention this. The team needs to work on, and we've been saying this is my one flaw of Pete Carroll teams. As much as he makes them believe, it's a little bit sometimes too player empowerment. They need to work on the discipline. The late hits that lead to a touchdown for the team. The DJ Dallas got ejected for swinging an elbow at somebody's face.
Did not get ejected, actually.
They said.
No, I saw him return that last kick.
No, maybe it was just unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, it was just unsportsmanlike.
Some of them are ejections, some are not. In general, it's I don't understand why somebody would why the team's allowing them to continue to have these mistakes. Now, trust me, it's fine once in a while, right? I get it. Once in a while, there's a little scuffle. But the fact that I expect every Seahawks game to have 2 or 3 unsportsmanlike conducts, it's a little too much. We need to, tone that down, because if you don't have that game-winning drive today, or the game-winning drive against the Eagles, or whatever game it might be, there's a lot of times you can look back in the season and that unsportsmanlike conduct hurts your team. DK got ejected against the 49ers. You have 2 of them today that, were during big moments, in the second half. So those are the couple things we need to clean up. You don't want to lose a game that gets you into the playoffs, or the wild card round, you lose a game because somebody gets ejected for being dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't happen to other teams as much.
Don't have to add too much to that, because you kind of said everything that needed to be said there. I could say the same exact thing over in different words, but no need for that. I do want to talk here to, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter pod, but I want to talk about the Seahawks playoff chances. And it looks like we're in a driver's seat with only Pittsburgh and the Cardinals to play. It just feels like this is a very, very, very good opportunity to go out. And it's not easy to win both of those games. Against Pittsburgh, it's at home, so that helps. At least we don't have to go to Pittsburgh. And then against the Cardinals, the one thing, even though it's on the road, at least it's a semi-home game in Arizona. We might be at that game. And in general, but there's such a big Seattle crowd anytime the Seahawks play the Cardinals. So it is kind of almost like a semi-home game, but still the team has to go on the road and get on an airplane and sleep at a hotel room.
Yeah, but I do think we do have... I'm trying to look at my photos because I think I screenshotted it.
From last year?
No, the easiest remaining schedules in the NFL are Seattle, Jacksonville, and there's 2 other teams. I can't remember. We're one of the 4 or 5. Oh, here it is. Easiest remaining schedules among playoff bubble teams. The Seahawks, Jags, Broncos, Bucks, and Colts. And that's a good. None of those teams affect us because the Bucks are going to win the division probably.
Yeah, that's all they're looking. Well, I mean, that's not all they're looking to do, but like they're not. I don't think there's a.
We're more worried about the Saints, right?
Yeah.
To catch up, right? Because they're already leading the division. Seahawks are the other team in the NFC with the easiest remaining schedule in the bubble. As much as the only thing about that is we are the Seahawks, so we can go win games against the Eagles and go win in the road in Tennessee, but we could also go lose to
the Steelers at home.
I was gonna go something worse. So who's the worst team right now? The Patriots. We could also go lose to the Patriots at home. That's just how the Seahawks are.
I think you were gonna say Panthers, but we already beat the Panthers, and I don't think anyone can lose to the Panthers.
That's true. But it was a close game.
I know they had a close game. Yeah. They
but it was Andy Dalton at the time too, vet quarterback.
Why was it Andy?
Wasn't it? Wasn't Bryce Young hurt?
No, Bryce Young was playing. Didn't you see what'd you do when you spiked the ball?
I'm talking about against the Seahawks, bro.
Oh, against the Seahawks, yeah, it was Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about right now. I thought you were like, yeah.
No, against the Seahawks. I'm not worried about what he did this week. I'm just saying, like, against the Seahawks, it might have been Andy Dalton. It was close. Yeah, we are a team that, though, like, this. Let's look at this game. First half, we look like one of the worst teams in football.
Yeah.
Like, it just couldn't move the ball. Like, defenses, whatever. It's just whatever it is, at the end of the day, maybe the talent's not as good as we think on this team, and it's like you said, the coaching's just good, and Pete Carroll makes them believe, and that's what
it could be
gets us these wins. At the end of the day, all we need to do to have a chance is win 1 out of the last 2 games with Pittsburgh and Arizona.
And guarantee a spot, too, right?
Yeah, with 2. I don't think it's well, now that Minnesota lost, it is actually guaranteed.
Okay,
yeah,
so
winning 2 wins. Because there's no other... The only other way... No, because Buccaneers are going to win the division.
I guess the only way is if, like, I don't know.
No, I don't think it's possible.
Well, let me throw this out there real quick because like the Buccaneers are 7-7, right? If they go,
if they lost,
if they win out and go 9-7, the Saints win out, go 9-7, and we're 9-7.
The Saints are 7-8.
Are they 7-8?
They lost on Thursday,
so that made them 7-8. Okay,
so there's no possible way, I believe. Well, we have a loss. The only possible way would be the Bucs losing every game and the Saints winning out.
Yeah, so there's no way there's a 3-way tie between us, Saints, and Buccaneers. That was my question.
I don't believe so. We have the Saints tiebreaker regardless, but
okay.
Let me just look.
I wasn't sure quite about that.
I'm pretty certain 2 wins guarantees. Yeah, we're not. The Saints aren't even. They're not even like above Atlanta or Green Bay or Minnesota.
Okay,
so
winning out, we're in.
Yeah, because unless Tampa Bay loses all 3. And then we lose. No, sorry. If they win all. Yeah, there's no way. I think
as long as we win out, we're in.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain. So that's good news.
That's great news.
All right. Well, it is Christmas Eve, so thought we'd just hop on a 10-15-minute podcast. Give the people what they want. If somebody's bored and wants to watch some Seahawks content, while others might not be doing it today because of the holiday, let's give the people what they want.
I love giving people what they want, especially on Christmas. It's a little bit of a Merry Christmas present from us to you.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, and happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. We are celebrating Christmas with our family today. For our podcast on electric car reviews, please sign up for our email below, and we'll start giving you electric car review podcasts.
And you know what? Here, I'm gonna actually throw something out here. Christmas present, all right? A little giveaway. If you could, all you have to do is make sure either the YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube, or podcast, screenshot it, send it to a friend. Have them reply, I subscribed, and the first person to do that and send it to us will get a free T-shirt from the store.
Okay. Do it.
Yep.
I dare you.
First person you got to send it to us on email, or how should they send it? Or tag us on Twitter?
Anywhere. On any social media account. Just hit us up. Show us that you got somebody else to subscribe.
Yeah. Perfect.
To YouTube.
Or podcast. Anywhere. Just subscribe to one of our channels where you can listen to the podcast.
Okay. Fair. Do it. Merry Christmas. Love y'all. We'll do more than one. We'll do it to like 4 or 5 people if you send it. So if you feel like you're too late, you're not too late. Go send one.
I like that. First 5 people.
You know what we like to say, George?
Hey, thanks for stopping by, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. This is the Sports on Tap Seattle podcast. We're found everywhere, by the way, at Seattle on Tap on YouTube. So youtube.com/@Seattle on Tap. The podcast, just look up Sports on Tap Seattle podcast, and then Seattle Tap everywhere else. SeattleOnTap.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc., etc. We love y'all.
OnlyFans.
I don't get it.
OnlyFans.
You want to watch the podcast on OnlyFans? Please message OnlyFans to give us a sponsorship deal. That'd be nice. Much love, and we'll be back soon. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Peace.